What up, weirdos? It's your boy Raindrop, Raindog, Ranger Rizzle, and my co-host, co-captain, Cole Conspirator, Uncle Juju.
What is up, babies?
How's everybody doing? Welcome back to BXTV, aka Back from Hell, your Spotify and YouTube podcast where you didn't know everything you needed to know. And if you're new here and on YouTube, possibly drop a like, subscribe, and a comment. I'm saying. And if you're here on Spotify, just keep following, keep listening. Entertained, doing our thing. How are you, Juju?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited for this new podcast that we're about to record, and
Get it out
ready
there.
to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're new here, we put it out like once a week. We try to, and we do a thing called Comic Book of the Week. It's where we put 2 comic books on the chopping block on a scale of 1 to 10 of the art and the writing. We like to try and give them both some shine, if not fail us all. But sometimes we pick new books, sometimes we pick old books. It all depends on what we're feeling.
Yeah.
That being said, though.
Yes, sir. As is tradition, I believe I will go first. My comic book of the day, or comic book of the week, I picked Strange Academy #1. It's written by Scotty Young. It was the art was by Umberto Ramos, and Edgar DeGallo did the lettering. I gotta say straight up, I understand this is the first issue of a series, so there's a lot of tropes that get thrown around. Story wise, I felt like it was very cookie cutter.
No.
Yeah, it basically, the gist of it is there's this girl who has had magical powers her entire life, and she doesn't really reveal it to the greater public at large until one day she magically makes her dog come back to life after he got hit by a tree, and then she's trying to use her powers and makes a tree come to life because she's trying to do, magic. And somebody saves her, and recruits her to become a new student at this academy that they're setting up for students of very peculiar, it's not mutants, it's not X-Men, it's very different. So there's more magic involved. So to talk to her parents send her away because they realize like magic could be a problem.
Yeah, we don't know what the fuck we're doing, Harry Potter. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly. And they even said that. They were like, my kid is not a fucking my kid is not a main character in a fantasy series.
Well,
Okay.
she is.
Oh, she is. So she gets transported to this mansion outside of New Orleans because apparently New Orleans is where all the weird people live, so nobody asks too many questions.
Okay.
And they get to meet her new classmates, one of whom happens to be the son of Dormammu. Another one is an ice giant who's being brought by Loki. 2 of them are kids from Asgard. One of them is also a demon from Limbo. They're just kids from all.
Who did this book?
Scotty Young.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought.
So it's the run of the mill kind of like welcome to the first class of X-Men, but with like instead of mutant powers, it's magic and cool shit from the Marvel universe
and shit.
Yeah. So I can't be too harsh on the story because again, it is an issue #1, but it is very tropey. So I'm deducting points. I'm giving it a 7.
All right.
However, the art made up for it tenfold. When I say that this is again a perfect 10 as far as art, it has everything you want it to expect with Marvel and their treatment of magic. Doctor Strange should show up eventually. Just everybody is designed completely differently. It's a mishmash of characters and character design that's fucking fascinating to look at.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
It's
Not
entertaining.
boring.
It's not boring and it's very poppy. There's very minimal realism in this book. Um, Scotty Young does all the covers, especially like the little baby covers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
the cheap baby looking ones.
yeah,
Ones I collect.
yeah, and
I don't think he did the art on
y-
that though, did he? I thought he just
no,
wrote the.
he just wrote it. But it is very much in that style, but not so extreme. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
there. And the one thing I do like about this too, though, too, as an art choice, is that like the facial expressions are not over exaggerated. When people look shocked or surprised, they're not like, like big eyes, and
Yeah,
it's very
yeah.
proportional. So I give it a solid 9 for the art.
All right, so a 7 and a 9.
Yeah,
All right, not bad. Not bad. We've had lower
not bad
scores.
for not bad for a number one. I'm very interested in getting the rest of the series. Yeah,
All
just because I
right.
want to see if they're gonna fall into the trap of Hogwarts or not. You know.
No, I get that. I get that, dude. I totally get that. Well, solid choice, my guy.
Yep.
Solid choice. Mine is Beta Ray Bill by I think it's Daniel. Tell you in a second. Um, by Daniel Johnson. I didn't think that was really his
Yeah.
name, but yeah. So Beta Ray Bill by Daniel Johnson. I'm doing the trade paperback, so it's 1 through 5, the
Mhm.
whole mini series. Uh, Came out in 2021. It's obviously a mini series 1 through 5. I don't think it's that expensive. It's funny because a year ago I bought the issue 1 Ryan Stegman 9.8 CGC slabbed
Yeah.
cover. And then a year later, I find the book for $5 on Black Friday. Shout out Velocity Comics. They had a crazy deal going on. They probably, you know what I'm saying? They'll probably do something on Sunday too. But either way, this was an amazing story. The art was great. Daniel Johnson wrote it and drew it. So he did both. It's fucking amazing. I loved it. The art was fucking sick, and it's one of the most fun things I've read in a while. It was also a very sad book. So it starts out with Beta Ray Bill going to war with these people with the Fin Fang. It's this it's this story goes on during Donny Cates' Venom run or like King in
Mm.
Black run or something like that when it came
Okay.
out. So this symbiote monster comes to Asgard to attack it while Null is on Earth, and Beta Ray Bill is there trying to protect him because if you don't know about Beta Ray Bill, at a young age he was taken from his family and turned into this cyborg creature to defend them. And in this story, when he has
Melmir.
Melmir, whatever, or not Melmir, when he has Stormbreaker, his axe, not Thor's
Yeah.
axe. Odin gives him his own axe because in Thor 337 in November 1983, Beta Ray Bill was introduced, and then shortly after he picks up Milnor or Mjolnir.
Yeah.
And then Odin gives him his own axe, which is Stormbreaker. So when he has Stormbreaker, though, he can transform back into Beta Ray Bill. He doesn't have Stormbreaker right now, and he's fighting the Fing Fang. And he's starting to lose, and Thor shows up and defeats it, and everybody starts cheering for Thor. And you can kind of see Beta Ray Bill's upset about it, like he wanted to be the
Yeah.
hero, and he feels like he can't be. And there's the Sith, Lady Sith or whatever. They have like a little thing going on, and he's at the bar, and she's like, "You owe me a drink." So they get a drink, and then it pans to them like tussling, going down the hallway, like hooking up. And they end up in the bedroom, and he's taking off his clothes. This is important. This is like a key factor. This is like the key point to the whole book. Um, he's in her room, and she's like, "Beta, like Ray, are you gonna change back now?" And he's like, "I can't. I can't without Stormbreaker. Only Stormbreaker allowed me to change back." And she's like, I'm sorry. It's just, he's like, no, I get it. I get it. And he looks at himself in the mirror and he's like this scary, I'll show you guys on YouTube. I'll put up a picture. He looks like this scary horse thing. And he walks away and he has this whole moment and he goes back to his ship because he has a ship that's connected to him. He has like this, when he got turned into the cyborg thing, he got this like AI thing put into him with him that he's had his whole life. And he goes back to his ship and it works with his ship. And he basically dips. He dips the fuck out because he's like, I need to find Odin because Odin needs to make me a new hammer. He's like, I hate my outside self. Like I can't live a happy life like this.
Yeah.
Like, so he goes out and looks for Odin, and on his trip to Odin, he finds out his friend Sturge is back from the dead to help him, and his buddy Pip has snuck on board. He's this dwarf dude from Asgard.
Yeah.
He snuck on board to help him, and basically all this shit goes down. They find Odin. Odin tells him, like, I'm not powerful anymore. I gave Thor all the power, and I can't make you a new hammer. But there is an answer. There is an answer if you're willing to go. And the answer is the Twilight Sword, which is in the deepest level of Mespelium, Muspelheim, Mespelheim, Mispelheim. I don't know how to fucking say it. Some fucking Middle Earth bullshit.
Yeah.
Basically tells him, if you can get there, it's guarded by a demon, all this shit, and like, if you can get there and get the sword, you can transform into your normal form. Because when he had Stormbreaker, he could turn into his normal form. So what does he do? He goes. And when they get there, they go through like this like gate, this giant gate that's like guarded by some fucking god things. And when the ship goes through, the AI that's been living in his head becomes a real person. Not like a real person, but like a robot type thing in front of him, and it starts like actually helping him. Long story short, Beta Ray Bill gets to the deepest level of Muspelheim, and he fights the Sitar or whatever the fuck he is. He's this giant demon, and Beta Ray Bill is basically like, this is no effort for you as a giant demon. Why don't you fight me in your in a mortal form? And the demon's like, fuck it, I will. And he shrinks down to mortal form. And spoiler alert, Beta Ray Bill is like fighting this demon hand to hand, like just beating ass.
Yeah.
And while this is happening, the AI is like building a gun out of herself. Like she literally builds a giant gun so Surge can shoot it, or Sar, whatever his name is, he can shoot it. And the demon also kills Pep, so that like Pep blows off half of the demon's arm. And then basically they shoot this giant demon. Beta Ray Bill takes him off a cliff and stabs him through this giant like beard rock thing sticking up. And then he goes and he grabs the sword, pulls out fucking the Twilight Sword, and he basically does it. He conquers all, and he can turn back into his mortal form. And not mortal, because he's not immortal, but can turn back into his original form. And you got to read the rest to figure out everything. You know what I mean? I left out a good chunk, but it ends with him basically, just being like content and happy with how things are now. Because he's like, because he really just hated who he was on the outside because it's preventing him from so much. Like, everybody in the book, like, calls him horse face and shit like that. And, like, you can tell, like, his appearance really bothers him. And yeah, dude, I mean, it's all happy endings. And I'm going to give it a straight up 10 out of 10. Like, this is one of the most fun and beautiful reads I've had in a while. Like, the art all the way through is just, like, I can't say it enough. The art is banging, dude. It just pops. It's, like, grungy and in your face. Like, and there's just, like, these gnarly fucking 2-page panels. Like, I'm gonna post one on Twitter later because like I've been lacking on my book reviews on Twitter. Oh, dude, 10 out of 10. Daniel Johnson was fucking cooking when he did this. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, "Oh, you want to bring back Beta Ray Bill? I'll be the fucking guy."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'll do it fucking right. But it was good. It's one of those stories where like you have a sympathy for the hero on something that everybody can relate to. You know what I mean? Like, it's a real problem. It's not this like giant like godly like only a superhero has this issue. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, he's not happy with himself, but the problem with him is the thing that makes it hard for Beta Ray Bill is that he can't get rid of his form because he protects people like that. You know what I mean? So he has to be Beta Ray Bill like in his defensive form or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's all about self-identity.
Yeah, and so yeah, I gave it a 10 out of 10. Art's a 10,
Right.
writing's a 10. Like, this is I definitely recommend you pick it up, and me being able to pick it up for $5 and the whole trade paperback was fucking Steel City.
Muspelheim
Muspelheim.
is yes, it is. Looking up on Wikipedia, it is the realm of fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, the whole thing is crazy. Like, when you're reading it, like, when they get there, like, I don't, like, I left out a lot. Like, they land in this lava pit to get away from all these, like, demon soldiers chasing them. And then they, like, dive into the lava pit as, like, a sub and, like, this monster like, it's crazy, dude. Like, the art is insane. Like, the atmosphere looks so crazy. Like, it's so good. What?
Yeah.
You're just eyeing, bro. What?
Oh, sorry. No, I'm downloading information into my brain.
Talk to me about it. Don't be reading an article. Talk to me about it. Stop reading this article. Talk to me about the book.
They're saying it's a Dyson sphere, or at least that's what they depict it as in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but that's not relevant to what we're talking about now. So you love this character, so like I definitely have to check this out now.
Oh yeah, I mean it's 5 books, dude. I read it today. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally read it. Like I finished it today. Like I read the first book last night, and then I was like, all right, I need to wait until I'm like awake because it was like 3 a.m, and I read it today, and I was like, dude, why do I need more of this like right now?
That's great art. I mean, that's great storytelling right there in a hand.
Yeah, dude. It's just like
basket.
I saw a thing recently that was like, are you leaving the comic book store with less weeklies than you usually would? And I guess for you, that would be, are you reading less new titles than you did before? And I would say, personally, I am leaving with less. Well, yeah, I am, because I'm buying more trades and omnibuses than I am anything now. Like, I'm finding, like,
the
stuff that's coming out is very hit or miss for me from DC or Marvel. Like, I feel like their older stuff and and then if you want new, it's really the indie stuff that blows you away now.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is, like, with an omnibus, it's kind of like, okay, if you're buying just a single books, like you're really taking a gamble. It could be something that you really like, or it could be something you could get 5 books, and there's a possibility that all 5 are duds, or all 5 are really fucking great.
But see,
or you get
that is where a single is good though, because a single is like, okay, I buy the first 2 or 3 singles, that's $4 or $5 a pop, and then so you're at like $15. And then it's like, all right, now that I know I like it so far, you wait for it to go on, and then you just buy the trade or the Omni. And that's where I get stuck, though, because with Omnis, it's like, you got to just hope you're going to fucking like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People online all day can say, "Hey, I love this book," but you know how many books I've read that I'm like, that wasn't for
Yeah. No.
me. That,
Yeah.
and I know for you too. I know there's plenty of comic books you've probably read that you're just like, that could be good to somebody else, but
Yeah. I also think that like because you are at that point, you already kind of know what you're looking for. So it's like you're not hunting like as a collector, you are hunting down the single issues because you want to collect them because you think they're good.
yeah,
From the reader's perspective, it's more or less like
I get my bang
um
for my buck. Like,
yeah, and also like I want to sit and read a run from beginning to end with no breaks.
which
You
no,
know,
I want to do that, but like you can't with new stuff. That's just not gonna
yeah,
happen. It
there's
just they don't
yeah,
put everything. They put shit out bi-weekly or
yep,
monthly. You know what I mean? So like that's why I take breaks between shit. But that's why I've been buying the omnis and the compendiums and the trades because it's like I'm finding myself in these situations. Like for instance, I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna knock something over if I grab it. But like I read the first book of these trades lately, like the ones I bought on Black Friday,
yeah,
Daredevil, Born Again by Frank Miller, uh, The Witch Doctor. I've read the first issue of yesterday. I read the first issue of every trade I bought. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
straight up. And I wanted to decide which one I wanted to continue reading first. That is like kid in a candy shop. If you can do it that way, if you can go to the comic book store and buy 3 to 5 trades or like 1 to 2 omnis and just kind of like dive into them a little bit and then like switch it up, I feel like that's the way to go. Like
yeah,
personally, I get some people are like, no, I have to read one story all the way through, but I think it's glorious just to be like, all right, I read 8 to 10 issues of Daredevil. I'm now gonna go pick up my Conan Omnibus and read whatever the fuck he did. Just it's like
yeah.
TV, you know what I mean? You get like I know people like to binge watch, but like who doesn't miss like just flicking the channels and finding good
Just
shit
flipping the
on?
channel and finding a random one-off episode of something, and then you know, and also like the, the thing that it's not a personal like, it's just it is what it is. But when you're reading a huge arc, it's like, okay, next chapter, next chapter, next chapter. It's all leading into the other thing. Whereas the other way is like they could just be individual stories that you want to read. You know,
Well, that's
like not every omnibus is gonna be an overarching, like
well,
story from beginning to end.
it usually
There are
is.
gonna be
No,
those
it no,
usually.
it usually is. I know what you're saying, but it usually is the
Yeah,
whole story arc. That's the
yeah,
um. I think I don't know, dude, because like when I was reading Invincible, I get it. Like I sat here for like 3 hours at a time, and would just like continue reading it because it's just like everything is adding up,
yeah,
and you know that's the thing though. The difference in getting like a trade that's like a 5 issue, 7 issue mini run, like you know what I'm saying, like a small
yeah,
run, like a mini series, compared to like a giant arc, is like with the compendium, like the deeper you get in, the
yeah,
juicier it tends to get. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you have that excitement of like turning each page and being like, is this where it starts? Is this where it starts?
yep,
Like you're just like, no, it's building up to this giant thing, and you're just waiting to like see where it starts to cook, and that is where it grabs you.
yeah.
Speaking of comics, though, and all these talk with new books, are you gonna read Batman Offworlds?
I am very interested in seeing what they're gonna do because I am a big fan of taking Batman out of Gotham. Or
No,
like,
yeah, because in
you know what I'm
Batman
saying?
Hush,
Like,
no, because in Batman Hush, he goes to Metropolis for a little bit,
yeah,
and it was just nice to see him like have to be Bruce Wayne, and then see how he acts as Batman in Metropolis.
yeah.
So I can fuck with that. And then in Dark Knight's Death Metal, they do a bunch of crazy shit. So yeah,
And also like
I mean,
I'm
for you, it's best of both worlds, though.
yeah,
It's sci-fi space and Batman.
and it's also new villains. It's
I will say,
new people
I saw a
that he's got to
sneak,
fight.
I saw a sneak peek at whatever the fucking people are that he pulls up on. They look pretty fucking cool. I think the like alien people he pulls up on, like they don't look like corny. You know what I mean? They look
Yeah,
like they look relatively like intimidating. You know, they didn't go with this like weak, gloopy, skinny look. They were kind of more like
yeah.
militarized. Like, so I'm here for it. I bought the first issue. I bought the Virgin cover on accident because now I don't want to read it because it's a Virgin. I don't want to like fuck up the spine on it, but I
Yeah.
may just read it anyway. I may just go back to Velocity and see if they have a. But no,
And I mean, it's just it's also cool to see Batman finally get out of his element, which is like, as much as as much as I love to see Batman swinging through Gotham, beating the shit out of the Joker or whatever. After a while, he does seem to get a little
see,
repetitive.
that's why I
So it
like.
is kind of good to have something new.
You know, I'm corny. That's why I like Batman Hush because he just beats the shit out of the Joker in Metropolis for a little bit, and then he goes back to Gotham.
And like also like, I mean, how many stories have we had from Batman where he's dealing with like off-world problems, but he's dealing with it on-world. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an
Well,
external threat that's coming here.
that's
It's kind
why
of nice for him to go there. You know?
that's why the Justice League cartoon was so fun because Batman was never in Gotham.
Yeah.
He was
He was
always
either
no. He was
he was
all
either at the satellite.
no. He was always somewhere different. I mean, maybe in the satellite. Everybody's in the satellite though. Everybody is on the ship and shit. But I'm saying though, like his episodes weren't in Gotham. Like he has one with
Yeah.
Etrin, the demon or whatever, and like I'm just saying, like that was entertaining.
Yeah.
It supports your point.
And also like, again, it's the Rogues Gallery is so legendary and so like
Well, no,
everybody,
see, and that's where I'm gonna disagree with you. That's where I disagree with you, and I agree. You said new villains. You can't say his Rose Gallery and then bring up new villains. I'm,
No,
I'm.
what I'm saying is again, it's the repetitive nature of it,
No, yeah,
So it's kind of nice to have something
that's
new.
also why Justice League was fire because he wasn't usually up against people he dealt with. It was
Yep.
always like the other superhero's villain or whatever. He was just there
Yeah.
dealing with it with them. And I don't know. I'm definitely gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna read the first issue, and then I'm gonna make a post about it on Twitter probably. So follow me on Twitter
Yeah.
at fried_rainy.
And I'm probably gonna get it on the DC app
Okay.
and get it. I think I can set it up where, at least on the DC app, when they release it, it's kind of like the boxes at the comic book store. It just comes up.
Well, let me know if you can actually do that, so we can start doing like actual comic book segment where we review shit, like
Yeah.
not on the pod. Like we'll do it off.
Yeah.
We'll do it like as a separate video.
Yeah. I mean, I'll figure it out. I just got to play with the app a little bit. Finesse it.
Yeah, nah, for sure. What's your next comic read?
Oh, next comic read. I'm probably gonna finish. Wake the Devil because when I bought this book, I finished the first half, which was Seed of Destruction, and I just kind of put it down and never picked it up again
Not
until I
gonna.
brought it back to my house. So I'm
You're not,
gonna finish that for sure.
okay. All right. Since he didn't ask me, since he didn't ask me, I'm gonna continue reading Daredevil Born Again for the Frank Miller series.
Word.
I think it's fucking amazing. The best thing I've read though in the past month, it's older, is Planet Hawk. I bought the Planet Hawk. I bought the Omni on sale at Velocity. Shout out Velocity again. That was a fucking amazing story. It pulled my heartstrings, and now I'm gonna read oh, what the fuck is it? World War Hulk. That's the
Warhawk.
That's what
Okay.
that's the follow up.
Fuck yeah, man.
I think
I think
everybody as a just even as a comic reader, you gotta read it, even if you're not a Hulk fan. But what about you?
honestly the best one that I read so far was um it was the Star Wars #1. It was in between. It was fuck. It's the one that happened after Luke Skywalker got his hand cut off.
Yeah, we did a whole pod.
Yeah, we did that on the pod. I personally for this month that was my favorite comic book because it had everything I wanted out of a Star Wars comic book. It was in between stories. The art was fucking amazing. The story, just the fact that they were willing to expand Empire into Jedi and do it in a very cohesive manner that felt true to the fucking lore. They nailed it. And I have it on my desk. It's one of those things where if I pull it out, I'm gonna knock something over.
That was me earlier with the other book. I just stopped touching shit. I was like, bro, I'm not knocking shit over to grab this.
Yeah, and I got way too much stuff on my desk right now. I thoroughly enjoyed that book. It was a fun find.
Dude, I'm gonna keep an eye out when I go to the comic book store. My goal is to get you to get a pull box at Richmond Comics or Velocity. Because I'm gonna start, or at least for you to start reading a bunch of current series.
Yeah.
Because I see so much random Star Wars being put out that I'm like, one of these gotta hit, right? Like, one of these
Yeah.
gotta be it.
Like that was kind of my whole thought process with the Star Wars comics that I have been reading recently was that like, okay, they all can't take your hatred for Kathleen Kennedy and set it aside. They can't all be bad. You know, like there's gonna be some turds. There's gonna also be some shit. You're gonna find gold and shit. You know, how do you do that? You gotta sift through it.
Oh,
You know,
100%. 100%. I mean, that's what I do with my weeklies. I thought thought the new Secret Wars comic was dog ass. Like,
yeah,
I was not a fan of that. I wasn't digging it. I need to take it off my pool list. I feel like I've definitely been taking more things off my pool list than adding. I still
yeah.
leave with shit every time I go to the comic book store to show support. I'm still reading, but
Do
it's
they have a limit to like how much you can put in, or is it like
oh
whatever you want?
it's whatever you want. The thing is though, they
Okay.
only hold it for 30 days. They put it
Okay.
and then they put it out for sale.
Okay. All right. Word.
You get 30 days to pick up your shit, and then you gotta fucking. Which, if you don't pick your shit up in 30 days, you're just lazy as fuck.
Yeah.
That's
Just.
yeah, that's what I.
And they're not gonna fucking send it to you because that's even more lazy.
Yeah, no, and the thing is, at Velocity, if you have a pool box, you can go in on Tuesdays. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait till Wednesday like everybody else, because
Yeah.
that's new comic day. That's when everybody. And you get like a 10% off your total or whatever for that week.
It's fun. It's funny how I feel like it's a conspiracy theory to get nerds to exercise. Like you actually have to physically get up and go and get it.
Not with today, dude. You know how many people buy shit on Whatnot and eBay and fucking all that shit? Holy hell.
Yeah.
I was one of them until I just started going to my local comic shop. I was just like, I need to stop. Like, I only buy shit online that I can't find locally now.
Kudos to Bezos for figuring out that nobody wants to actually go to a bookstore.
I don't mind. I love going to my local comic shop. I love it.
Yeah.
I would rather buy comics from there than anywhere every time. It's local business. They're super nice. They hook you up. They got a fat fucking stash.
Yep.
Dang. But speaking of comics and all these things, let's talk about some characters.
Sure.
Let's talk about the Sinister Six. More so, let's talk about making our own Sinister Six. You hearing me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm alrighty. Our own Sinister Six. This will be fun. All right.
Yeah, we gotta
So
agree though. We gotta agree.
yeah. All right. I'm gonna throw one out there, and you're probably gonna hate me for saying it first.
Well, dude, if we don't
But
agree on it, it's not going up.
no. I'm saying like the fact that I'm calling it out first. I personally think our first inductee has to be the big man himself. Fucking Trask. What's his name? Um, no, Fisk.
Oh, Kingpin.
Uh, Kingpin. Thank you.
All right, yeah,
Thank you.
I was
I'm
gonna,
so sorry. I was shitting on that for a
I was
minute.
gonna say Kingpin too. So that's cool. All right,
That's
fuck
why I was
yeah.
like, I know you're gonna get mad for me saying it first.
That's cool.
um,
That's cool.
Kingpin, because logically he makes the most sense. He's got the most hatred. If he's gonna pull a team of, and he would be the one to pull it together. Obviously, Doc Ock pulled the original Sinister Six together. Therefore, he is out in my book.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
next up, who's worse than fucking Kingpin?
Doc Ock himself. Nah,
Yes.
I can get behind that. All right, fuck yeah. All right, here's a curveball for you. Here is a curveball. Carnage.
No, I agree. You have to have a symbiote.
And I don't think Venom is a bad enough guy to be in the.
No. Let's see. My symbiote pick would have been Scream because like she's my favorite of the symbiotes. But Carnage, honestly, I have to agree with it over Scream. He's much more of a formidable foe.
Oh yeah, he just wants to fuck shit up. So if you're gonna
Yeah.
get a team of people to fuck shit up, he's gonna be the first one in.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here. Uh who else do you think? We got four more.
Um, I would have to pick Scorpion because
Nah. We can do better. We can do better. We can do better. Come
I
on.
personally like Scorpion. That's
I
why
do
I
too.
picked
I
him.
do too. But that's two. That's two. We're already like two Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a little on the nose.
yeah, literally.
Um. Hmm.
Think outside the box.
All right. Sabretooth.
I was gonna say him before Carnage. Yeah, I'm with it. He just wants to fight. He doesn't care. Fucking asshat.
He has the same powers as Wolverine, right? Is that comic
Essentially,
book accurate?
and from
Okay.
what
Yeah.
from what I've read, like other than the fucking Nick,
That. Yeah.
Snick, like other than the claws. All right, so far we got Kingpin, Carnage, Sabretooth. I think. Huh, 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 huh. That's a hard one, dude. Because Sabretooth is like edgy and like an X-Men villain. Oh, dude, Magneto.
Hmm. See, I wasn't gonna originally say Magneto, just because for one thing, it's kind of like Sinister Six. I immediately think of Spider Man, but we're
I,
also introducing
I'm,
across the board.
yeah,
That
I'm
was
just,
not one that blipped in my mind. is,
yeah.
is that weird?
For you it is. I just feel like Magneto's somebody you could throw in there, you know? Like, he's all about organization and.
Yeah, but I also feel like he would also probably clash with Kingpin,
Yeah, but
like
we'll
as
deal with
far as
that.
like trying to take control.
We'll deal with that when we get to that issue. You know? Like, that'd be like issue 6.
Yeah,
Like, when they're finally, like, getting tired of each other.
and they're like, who's actually in charge, and that becomes like the major fight.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
Um, all right, so that's four,
4.
right? Four.
Yeah.
So we got two more to go. Hmm. That
Villain.
would be really good. You know what? I don't want to say Loki because at this point, I think Loki is an actual hero in my mind. Like he's
I
become
mean,
less of a villain over time.
I haven't read any like recent Loki comics, but I know in the MCU like world he's a good guy.
Yeah. So I guess he's out. That's Loki.
So no Loki.
You know what? I'm gonna say Hela.
Okay, I can rock with that.
Let's throw an Asgardian in there.
Yeah, a shouty,
I also
shouty.
like,
Get some thickness up in there.
you know what? I was also going to. I was gonna say Hobgoblin,
I
but we
get
already have too many
Nah,
Spider-Mans,
nah,
though.
he's in there. He's in there.
So that's five. That's 5 and 6.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Yeah, so our Sinister Six would be Kingpin, Carnage, Sabretooth, Magneto, Hela, and Hobgoblin. That is a lot of tension in one room.
Yeah, that's a lot of personality disorders in one room.
Yeah, it is. A lot of aggression in one room. A lot of violence.
And also, like, you need at least one female villain. I feel like.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I like that you threw her in there. But speaking of comics, for the 15th time tonight, with the show coming out with its final episode of 2023, it's not returning until 2024. Invincible. The first 4 episodes are out, and it's not returning until 2024 for the rest. Who's your favorite character?
My favorite character was actually one that came out was in season 1, and it was the demon detective that they had to figure out
He's
who
like
killed
barely
all the
in it, dude.
superheroes. Yeah, I know. But to me, it was such a like throwback to Hellboy and like his character design, personality, and just the fact that like
Yeah,
he's a
yeah.
detective from hell. And I was like, all right,
Okay.
I can fuck with you. I also want you to have your own series at some point, dude. Like,
Nah, I agree. I agree. My first answer would be Robot, because
yeah,
you guys don't know yet his whole background, and when you learn everything about him, you're gonna be like, holy shit! Like, because I read the first him, you're gonna be like, holy shit, bro.
he's also a very weird character in the at
Oh,
least in
he's
the
so,
show.
he's like a Michael Cera type. He's
Yeah,
so off-putting, dude. He's like this off-putting AI motherfucker. Like, I love it. I love him. Love everything about him. And then my second would be the twins.
the twins. Yeah,
2 blue dudes.
yeah. What is it?
I've read the first compendium and I can't remember their fucking names. It's something weird.
It's something. It's like the mortar,
Yeah.
something like mauling twins or
Yeah,
whatever.
yes. The twins and Invincible. See, I read so much shit that I just start like I don't remember them.
Yeah, you just don't remember what
Mauler.
they
It
are.
is. It's Mauler.
The Mauler.
Mauler twins. I've never been good with fucking names, dude. Even in comic
I
books. I can read a whole series of a comic book. I'll forget a motherfucker's name.
yeah.
I'll remember everything
I
that
mean,
happened. I remember everything that happened, and I'll forget his fucking name.
like look at me and Kingpin just now. I'm like Fisk. What's his name?
You said the hard part. You said his real name. Not even his like the one that like would be easy to remember. For his government. That's crazy. But
um.
I really like the Mauler twins. I think it's funny,
Yes.
like the whole play on the clone thing. Like it's good. It's funny, and you'll see
I
it
also.
keeps going. It doesn't stop at
Yeah.
the like.
Um. I also liked the the character who designed all the costumes. He was
Oh,
kind of
dude,
like he was
yeah,
kind of like Edna Mode and
Omni Man's
like if
best friend.
yes, it was like if Edna Mode and fucking Lucius Fox came together as one character.
I almost feel like it's Alfred, like the way he acts.
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit of Alfred in there, like, but I get what you're saying. I get it because he makes all the Batman shit.
And also no capes.
Yeah. Nah, dude. What do you think about Invincible's character design, it being so simple.
I think it's a nice crossover between the Japanese animation style or design style and American sensibilities. Like it almost has that 90s anime style to it, but it also it's like a good marriage between two cultures, you know what I'm saying?
I feel
Like
that. I feel like it was a smart play because it's so easy to remember.
yeah.
Like you see it, you immediately know Invincible. Like the blue, yellow, and
Yeah.
gray. It's like it's so easy to remember and like see that it was like I think like that was a I don't know if that I don't know if that was intentional. Like it might have just been, yo, this is
Yeah.
early on. This is what we can do. You know what I mean? But I thought it was great. I thought,
And also I, it's the same sort of thing with the boys, and I've read a few of the boys comic books.
nah, the
Like,
boys' comics are way more detailed than
oh yeah,
Invincible.
no. But what I'm saying though is that like in the same way that they spin the whole like superhero like in reality thing, Invincible does it kind of the same way, but in much more reference to the fact that they are a
No,
comic book.
no, I I don't know about that. Invincible's way like more like
It's way more
absurd.
cartoony. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
they're definitely not similar, in my opinion. I mean,
well,
what they do is similar,
yeah,
but they're
it's
not.
the satirical takedown of comic book superheroes.
Yeah, like
Um,
that part is similar, but I don't think anything else about them is really that similar, bro. Like the
no.
tone, this like everything. Like I would say they're so far. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody out there in the
And also
comments argue with me.
you definitely get the feeling that the creators of Invincible are in fact actual fucking fans of comic books. Like they know what they're talking about.
Well, yeah,
You
there's so
know,
many fucking little nods to
yeah,
whatever.
little nods to like again, Hell Detective. Like
Yeah, I mean,
clearly you read some
Dark
Hellboy before.
Darkwing or whatever his fucking name is. I don't
Yeah,
even know if he's been introduced yet. Oh, yeah, he was. He was in the fucking. He was in the whatever the dudes he killed.
yeah,
But there's like a spin-off thing later on. You'll. But fuck yeah, dude. Well, dude, this has been a great night. I'm glad. Oh, guys, by the way, we just did a podcast on Twitch. It was
yes,
hella fun the past 2 nights. You guys gotta come and check out our live podcast. It's Braindead XTV on Twitch. But I'm glad we could sit here, talk about all this nerd shit, and have a good time, man.
yeah. Honestly, these are the highlights of my week. Like,
Nah, same. I don't go out and shit. I go to the
yeah,
comic book store once a week, twice if I'm lucky, and then I do this. Those are my high. Other than waking up,
yeah,
making coffee, and opening a comic book, because I'm not
yeah,
gonna lie, like you should really try it. I know you have kids, so it's hard for you to do that, but like
yeah,
after you drop your kids off or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Read at least like half a book, like half a comic book, like something you really want to read though. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And just like take a bowl hit, do nothing else, take that 5 minutes, and it's like, yo, it makes your day so much better because it's just like you start your day with a very simple, small pleasure. You're, and it gives you something good
yep,
to think about the rest of the day. You're like, oh, that comic book I read earlier. Either you're like, that was really good, or like, that could have been better. You know, like you're
yeah. And then
thinking,
it leads, yeah, how I would do this differently.
yeah, yeah. So I've learned that like it is a good thing to start with because it's not a
Yeah,
full. It's not like a book. It's not like, oh, let me open this novel, squint my eyes, and read 4 pages, which takes the same time it takes to read half or the
I
whole.
have a comic book.
Or
Yeah,
yeah, so like, and a comic book, it's just like you're looking at cool shit as soon as you wake up. Like even if it's
yep.
bad, usually the art is usually at least half decent. And I don't know, it's a little thing I started doing like a year ago, and I've really been trying to stick to it. And it just like it really has like made my
Yeah.
days a little bit better here and there.
Um, I'll also say this, like, as far as us getting together and doing this on a regular basis, I've come to realize if I'm going to the bar, it's because something fucked up happened that day. And like the same, you know, when it used to be like, oh, I'll just, go out, have a couple drinks, hang out with my friends, and it'll be cool. I'm doing that now, but I'm doing this. I'm doing something productive. I'm not sitting on my ass being an ass
That's how I
in
feel.
front of other asses,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe we are.
I mean, like, I don't need that, oh, I need to go out and, be around other people. Just hang out with you, have great conversation, and talk about shit that I actually want to talk to people about.
Oh,
You
100%.
know?
Yeah, that's why we do this shit once a week, baby. At Braindead XTV. So like, comment, and subscribe, my dudes.
Yep.
If you're on Spotify, keep listening. Because me and
Yep.
Juju are going to keep coming back here for our own mental health either way. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, with or without you, we'll be here. No, I'm just kidding. We appreciate it. Remember, never offended, always recommended. Have a great fucking day or night whenever you listen. Peace!
Peace.